Since the sign up and login is taken care of, now let's move on to creating a new post page. So create a new file, Ctrl+N, and save it as create.php. We are going to use this page for creating a new blog in our blog website. Let's give title as create new post. Let's develop this page as two modules, navbar and container. First, let's develop navbar. First, let's create an unordered list for navbar contents, UL, and we can insert our list items using li tag. Li, our first list item will be blog post, and next for logout, and next for showing our display name, and next one for creating a new blog, so create plus, and at last a home page. Home. It may look like the items in a reverse order. I will tell you why after a while. Now that we have created the list, let's check it out. Change the file name as create.php to execute that file. It looks like a normal list. Now let's start styling it. For the purpose of styling, let's create a new style sheet. Give the name for it as style2.css. First, link this style sheet to our create page. We can do it with the help of link tag. Link, and inside the href attribute, give the file name style2.css. Now our style sheet is linked to this page. Now let's start styling it. The body should be same for all the pages. The background color and the font family are same as the login page and sign up page. So let's copy and paste it from style1 page. Copy from it and paste it in style2.css. Now let's check it out. Okay, the background color and font style has been changed. Now let's start styling the navbar. For navbar, let's give the unordered list the class as nav. So inside the UL tag, give the class as nav. Now let's start styling it. .nav, nav represents navigation bar. First, let's set the width to 100 so that the navbar will be full length of the screen with 100%, and let's set the height for the navbar. Let's give it as 50 pixels. Now let's add the background color for the navbar. Background color hashtag 65E6A7. This is another shade of green. For a little 3D effect, let's add a box shadow. The values for box shadow are all same with the previous content in sign up and login. Box shadow 0px, 0px, and for the blur 8px, and let's give the color as gray. Now let's see the output. The given properties are working properly. Next up, let's set margin and padding to 0px, because if you see, there is some little gap between the screen and the navbar. This is due to default value of the margin and padding. And the body too has some default margin, so set that to 0px too. Now let's check it out. Now that's better. Next up, moving on to the li tag. To make the list items horizontal, give float right. Li, thin curly braces, let's give float right. Now the list items are horizontal, but they are congested. And if you see, the elements are in the correct order now, because the float right reversed the order of the li element. To resolve the congestion, let's add padding to it. Okay, let's give padding as 20px. Now they are well spread out. But the text size is too small. So let's increase the font size. Let's give font size as 20 pixels. Now it's perfect. The blog post here is out of place because we planned it to be the left side of the screen. Let's go on and do it. To make the element to go to the left, we are going to override the CSS with inline CSS. Add style attribute to the blog post element and give float left. Style equal to within double quotes float left. The navbar is slowly getting into its final form. I think the height of the navbar is little less. So let's increase the height of the navbar. Let's set it to 60 pixels. Now this looks good. Next up, let's convert the list items into links because they navigate you to somewhere. Add the anchor tag to all the list elements except display name. href, give the responsible links to href. First, for the blog post, give inside the hr attribute as index.php, which we are going to create after some time. And for logout, give it as logout.php. And for create, let's give it as create.php. And for the home, the link directs to the home page where you can see the posted blogs. We can give it as index.php. Now let's see the output. Now all the list items are links. So they have these ugly blue underlines and they have these bullets with them. We don't want them. First, to remove the bullets and to make the area around the link also to be clickable, add display block. This makes the certain area around it also clickable. Now let's check it out. Now see, the bullets are removed. But see here, the clickable is not working because the size of the link is not yet given. To remove the underline and give the size of the anchor tag, let's style the anchor tag A within curly braces. First we want the text color to be black, so color is black. And to remove the underline, there is a property called text decoration. Give it as none. Now let's check it out. Yes, that's working as expected. About that display block, we have to give the padding to 10 pixels. Padding 10 pixels. Now see here, the area around the link is now clickable. Done. The navbar is mostly over. Finally, let's add some feature to the navbar using hover. hover.menu. If given like this, the anchor tag in the menu class is only affected by the hover. Now in the hover, let's add a border only for the bottom with width 3px solid. Border bottom 3px solid. And the green shade we used for the buttons. Hashtag 14b005. If we run this, nothing happens since we didn't specify which element have the menu class. Let's go on and do it. So the home, create and the logout gets a HO feature. So here is a small tip. To get the multiple insertion point, press and hold the control and click the places where you want the insertion pointers. Now let's give class as menu. Class equal to menu. Now let's see the output. Now if I hover over these and only for these, the green bar appear at the bottom. We have successfully completed the navbar. Next up, let's move on to the container part. First, let's create a div element, div, and within h2 tag, let's give the heading as create a blog. Then, let's create a form to get the blogs. Form. In the form, create an input field with the type text and name it as title, and let's give a placeholder as give a suitable title. This input for getting title for the blogs. Don't forget to add the required attribute. Next up, let's create a text area. Text area. Let's give the name as content, name equal to content, and let's give a suitable placeholder, placeholder equal to write to your mind. And make it required. Next, create a button. This button is used to submit the form data. So let's give type equal to submit. We give the button name as post. Now let's check it out. Now we have all the required elements. Let's start styling them. Give the class as container in the div element. Let's style the container. Dot container. First, let's set the width of the container. Width as 1000 pixels. Next, give the border radius as 15 px to make the rounded edges. And add the background color to white. For this also, let's add box shadow with the same values. 0 px, 0 px, 8 px for the blur, and color is gray. Now let's see the output. All the elements are sticking to the sides. So give padding. Say 40 pixels. Now that's much better. We have to move the container to center. Create a style for class container center dot container hyphen center and give left as 50% and transform translate minus 50% comma 0. The reason why we give 0% here is we don't want to center the height here. Add this class in the div container center. Now let's see the output. The reason why it didn't work is that we didn't give the position property to the container. Now let's do it. Let's give position as relative. Position relative. Now it works fine. The container is in center. It is in too much near the top. So give top as 100 px to bring it down. Top 100 px. Okay, now let's style the elements inside the container. First for the heading. Let's change the color for the heading as red. H2 color red. And change the font weight to normal just as we did in sign up and login. Now let's check it out. It's perfect. Moving on, let's give some common properties for input, button and text area. We don't want outline in any of these. So outline none. Next, let's style input and text area. Give the border as 1px solid black. Border 1px solid black. And set the width as width 950px. And set the font size as 18 pixels. Since all the fonts should be in the same size. We don't want the text to be sticking to the edges, so give text indent. Text indent 10px. Set the border radius to 15px. This gives a nice rounded edges to them. Let's see how it looks. It's congested and the input field length is not enough. First, let's increase the width first. Let's give it as 990 pixels. Now that's good. Now let's style the input. Give height as 40px. The height is changed. Now give the text area height. There is an attribute to give number of rows. If we give 3, it produces 3 rows. Let's give 13 since it is a blog site. Now let's add the focus for both input and text area. Input :focus, comma, text area :focus. This is the same style we gave in sign up and login because the style has to be consistent throughout the site. Border 1.5px solid. And let's give color as hashtag 14p005. Yeah, they are working. Oh, we totally forget about the congestion. Let's use the BR tags to separate them. Let's give 2 BR tags. Now it's better. Next, the style for the button is pretty much same. So let's copy and paste it. And it misses some styles. Add the border radius 25px. And let's increase the width to 200px. To bring this button to center, we are going to give the left value in the inline. Style equal to left, say 50%. Oh, we forgot the position property another time. Give the position as relative. Position relative. Let's check it out. No, it's too much on right. Let's change the left value. Let's give it as 40. Fortunately, it's in center. This looks completed. To make the container not to stick to the bottom, give the margin bottom as 20px. Give it in container style. Margin bottom 20px. Now let's check it out. Now everything works properly. And this ends the create blog post. Next up, the final and most important page in the site, the home page. This is the where all poster blocks will appear. Create a new file and save it as index.php. We have the navbar and container in this too. So let's go and copy paste it. Copy everything from here and paste it in index.php. We don't want form and header. Just remove it. And rename the title to blog post. Now let's check it out. Just click on the home to see the page. And that's how it looks. Before adding contents into the container, we need a small button before the container. So let's create a button. Button. Let's give the value as create new blog. Now we got the button. Since the CSS is same, all the styling is done beforehand. Now what remains is to bring the button to the center. Give the button container center class. Class equal to container center. And let's see how it looks. Well, it didn't work. Since that didn't work, let's try giving left in style attribute. Style equal to left. So let's give it as 40%. That's not in the center. Try giving 30%. That's a kind of center, but not 35 maybe. No, it is also not in the center. Let's try 32. Just a little more. Let's give it as 33. That seems good finally. But this button is too attached to the navbar. Give the top value as 100px. Top 100px. Okay, that's perfect. Now let's start styling the container. Let's give the margin top. So it may be little down and the consecutive containers will maintain a gap between them. Now there is a space between button and the container. Let's proceed to give content inside the container. Within h3 tag, give the display name and username. Display, a vertical line symbol, username. Let's give the title within the h2 tag. And finally, give the content to be displayed in the paragraph tag. Now let's check it out. It's better to have a little indent in the content. So let's give ampersand NBSP. This is like the space bar for the website. And now that's better. Now let's style the h3 tag. Let's assign the font weight to the normal. Now that's perfect. Copy paste this container multiple times to see how this works with multiple container. Just copy and paste it. Now let's check it out. Oh no, see the navbar is also scrolled away. To make the navbar fixed in that place, use position fixed. Position fixed. Oh, and suddenly the button changed its position. That's due to relative positioning of the button. Now let's try the container center class in the button. Remove the left in the style attribute and give the class container center. Yes, it's worked. Now let's scroll down. You can see the containers are moving over the navbar. To resolve this, there is a property called isIndex. This is used to set which element is on the top and which are in the bottom. If I give the value as 1, this will be on the top. Now let's try. Within the nav style, give isIndex is 1. Now let's try scrolling. No, that's perfect. That's all for this site. Check every page to check for any errors. Just as we expected, there is an error in the create with navbar. So set the top to 0px and see. Now let's check it out. Yes, luckily this solved the problem. Check with the home page. That has no problems. The main thing is CSS can be so annoying. So if a problem occurs, don't panic, just try to patch it up. And you can easily solve it after a little analysis. Good luck. That's all for the front end of our site.